John in Ohio, pronouns are he, him. How does AI tie in with cosmological thinking? John, what is cosmological thinking?
Well, they wanted me to pose a question, and I wanted to get Eric's opinion on artificial intelligence.
What specifically about AI do you want my opinion on?
Well, can you explain it?
Can I explain it? Well, in the current hot topic sense, in computer science and in technology, AI is just a complex mathematical model that allows the computer to accurately predict things like the next word in a statement, or the next pixel in an image. Allows us to scrape and gather data efficiently, but it's just really, really robust, sophisticated probability and prediction algorithms. That's all I see it as right now. And full transparency, I don't specialize in AI, so my understanding of it is fairly limited. But I've watched a bunch of videos and I've done a couple of little projects with it, mainly stock and crypto predictions, which failed utterly. But that's a whole other thing. So does that answer your question?
Well, I thought you might expand on it a little bit more, but
are you looking for me to say? Are you looking, John? Are you looking for me to somehow comment on like life or actual intelligence?
Yeah, if you want to expand on it.
I don't have to. I don't think it's alive or intelligent in the sense that we look at it. I think maybe potentially one day it could maybe get there if it becomes sophisticated enough. To put that into perspective, I look at the brain as just a bunch of different functions, all working together to create some type of larger function. It's like a same thing that happens with evolution. We have small functions combining together into large, newer functions. So we could potentially one day design perhaps an AI brain with multiple AIs inside of it, doing each tiny little thing as a function, all interlinked, and maybe something that approaches something we do. But whether that thing's actually alive or actually intelligent, I'm not sure. But I mean, who knows? Maybe one day. Definitely not today, though.
Well, would you say it's natural or unnatural?
Would I say it's natural or unnatural? It's man-made.
Are you asking whether or not artificial intelligence is natural or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't the word artificial kind of answer that question?
Well, it would seem to.
It's not natural in that we created it. It could be argued as natural because humans themselves are a part of nature and a part of the natural process. So I guess it depends on how you look at it. But is the argument, I'm going to predict where you're going here, is the argument that, well, we're creating intelligence and we must be intelligent. Therefore, something must have created us that was intelligent. Is that the argument?
Well, I guess I'm wondering, if there's artificial intelligence, why couldn't there be supernatural intelligence?
Because the supernatural has not yet been demonstrated.
Yeah, so nobody's saying there couldn't be a supernatural intelligence. It's just that I have no reason to think that there is or could be. That possibility needs to be demonstrated. We know that there are natural things that occur naturally, and then we know that there are artificial things that we create or that intelligence creates that don't occur naturally. And so we recognize design by contrasting that which occurs naturally with that which does not appear to occur naturally. So John, you can have intelligence and artificial intelligence, but whether or not you have supernatural intelligence is a separate issue.
And John, I can just take that same argument and say, well, if we have supernatural intelligence, why don't we have a super duper natural intelligence? Like, using intelligence to explain intelligence doesn't get us anywhere. We need to first demonstrate that a possible explanation actually is possible and actually exists. So you can see how that doesn't really get you anywhere. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, say it again, John.
I was going to ask Eric if he believes in evolution.
I believe evolution is a fact and explains the diversity of life on the planet. So sure, in those crude words, yes, I believe in evolution.
Do you think that man is the highest species that will ever happen?
What do you mean by highest?
Well, do you feel man is the highest species on Earth?
I asked you, what do you mean by highest?
The most evolved.
What does most evolved mean?
Well, I thought you believed in evolution.
Evolution doesn't
John,
have a concept of most evolved or more evolved. Evolution is merely change over time. I'm not more evolved than any other living being. But am I able to think and reason in a way that's different from an ant? Yes.
And I like how here, John, like, first of all, putting aside the question, how do you quantify how evolved something is? I like how you immediately insinuated that I don't believe in evolution if I don't agree the affirmative of these questions. That tells me that you have, first of all, a misunderstanding of what evolution is. And also, secondly, you aren't really listening to my answers here, engaging with me honestly.
But at least you want your answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So John, John, cut straight to the point. Like, yes, I believe evolution occurs. I believe it is the factual explanation of the diversity we see on the planet. And with the matter of humans, I think humans are very unique in certain ways, but we are not the highest, especially on numerous things. Like, we're not the highest when it comes to running. We're not the highest when it comes to numbers. We're not the highest when it comes to resiliency against disaster and other things. It depends on what you're talking about when you talk about highest. So you have to explain these things to me, or explain, elaborate, and tell me specifically highest regarding to what?
Intelligence.
As far as I know, humans are the most intelligent creatures on the planet.
Okay. Now, do you think there'll be another species beyond humans that will be more intelligent?
With my understanding of the way the universe works, sure, I think it's possible. It might be the case now because we haven't explored the rest of the universe, so who knows? But sure, it's possible.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much all I needed to know.
Okay. What was the point of this line of questioning then? Because, I mean, I have a feeling you were trying to maneuver this to somewhere.
No, I just wanted to hear the reasoning of somebody that had gone from atheist to atheist, from theist to atheist.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So with my experience in a nutshell, I was born and raised in a Christian religion. I was told what to believe and what to think. And me being a trusting, young boy, I trusted my elders. I trusted my parents. I thought they knew what was what. And then I got older and I said, hey, you know what? I don't think I have a good reason to believe these things. So I started examining, and now I don't believe those things. I don't declare them false. I don't declare God. I don't declare God as something that doesn't exist. I don't say that these things are impossible. Say, it goes back to our conversation with Caleb. I don't know. It's a big question mark in a lot of cases. I lean away from it, but I'm not making any declarations.
So if you think it's possible that there would be a species that's more intelligent than humans, I guess the question would be why couldn't you believe in a supernatural God?
Because a species more intelligent than humans would be a natural thing, and I know of lots of natural things that exist. But to believe in a God, I have to believe in the supernatural, and that's undemonstrated. And I'm very cautious about picking up and believing undemonstrated things such as this, because if I'm wrong, it shatters my worldview. So to put that into better perspective, hold on, to put that in better perspective, me believing that it is possible for another species to exist that's more intelligent than humans fits perfectly within my worldview. The one that I'm very careful to curate and to justify. But now if I were to accept something supernatural and I'm wrong about it, and I adjust my worldview accordingly and I'm wrong about it, now I've made a huge error in my perception of the world and my ability to navigate it accurately. So that's why I reject those things until they are demonstrated. Go ahead.
Hey, can I try something?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, can I try something real quick, John?
No. No. No, I just wanted to hear Eric because he was a theist.
Yeah, I know, but I have something to say. And since you don't want to listen, I'm going to hang up on you. I'm going to block you so that you don't fucking call the show again.
Okay.
I was sitting here trying to do something that would be fucking helpful to you. But if you're going to be a prick, fuck off.
Yeah. Matt was a theist too, John. Why aren't you interested in his?
Okay. The question I was going to ask, John doesn't like me, and that's fine.
Yeah.
John's talking about natural intelligence, then artificial intelligence, and then supernatural intelligence. What if we change that wording to natural intelligence, artificial intelligence, magical intelligence? Those are also categories. John thinks that if we can go from natural to artificial, we should be able to go supernatural. By the way, take John's number and tell him that he shouldn't call ever when I'm on. He can call the shows when I'm not on and talk to whoever he wants, but don't call a show when I'm on and then pretend that you're just, well, not pretend, just decide you're not going to talk to me. This was genuinely supposed to be helpful. I sat here, stayed out of it. Gosh, John, it's almost like John doesn't really care about truth or getting answers. John just figured that he'd already heard something from me at some point and decided, oh, I just need Eric to say, oh, no, I don't need you to do anything, Matt. Well, too damn bad, because here's my show. My show. Other shows here aren't mine. This one's mine. You are making a progress argument of I can move from natural to artificial and then from artificial to supernatural. How is that different from going to magic? Is it possible that there are 4 categories: natural, artificial, magic, and supernatural? And if you're willing to accept a supernatural intelligence, why not a magical intelligence? I was hoping that by identifying this, if John has some objection to drawing a distinction between supernatural and magic, that he would be able to say what that distinction is and why he finds supernatural to be more plausible or less plausible than magic. Because the reality is, I don't think magic is real, and I don't think the supernatural is real. That's not me saying that they're both false. I'm saying I don't know how to tell them apart, and I don't know how to tell whether or not either of them are here. As things that exist.
And with that line of reasoning, like I mentioned earlier, like if you're going to be using the reasoning that intelligence must explain intelligence, and the intelligence you're observing must be explained by something greater, why does the buck stop at supernatural? Why don't we jump again to super duper natural or super duper duper natural? Like, why is your preferred explanation, John, exempt from the rules that you're trying to set up? Why are you special pleading? Why are you doing that? This is the type of stuff back when I was a theist and I look back on, I'm like, man, how could I think like this? How could I set up these special rules willy-nilly arbitrarily just to craft myself a comforting explanation about what I see around me instead of genuinely seeking truth, instead of just genuinely seeking an honest understanding of what reality is, or even just like what my interlocutors, the people I'm talking to, think. I mean, John, you demonstrated that here where you seem to have corrected after that, but I have a feeling you weren't really engaging with us in good faith. You didn't want to ask Matt these questions despite him also being a theist, because I think, John, I suspect that Matt would shut down your traps right away. And that doesn't tell me that you're seeking honest inquiry into your line of thinking. You're wanting to avoid anything that can defeat it and try to go for an easier target. And I'm
pretty sure that John and I had
dishonest.
A bad interaction. I'm pretty sure that John and I had a bad interaction, and that's understandable. But on the other hand, it'll put me in the position of potentially being all I wanted to do was to ask a question that might be edifying, that might be enlightening, because John, I see through you. I see the errors you make because I made them, and because I've spent 20 years listening to other people make them. This is why you call the show. And I'm glad that you had a good conversation with Eric, and I'm glad that Eric's here so that you had somebody to talk to. But when I say, I'd like to ask a question, that's not really me asking your permission. I'm going to ask the question. What it is it's me asking you to please hold on a second and see if you'd like to answer the question. So maybe in the future, I'll phrase that in a different way. And I'll just say, I'm going to ask a question. You get to decide whether or not you want to answer it. There you go. My bad. I'll do better.
Eric, do you want to learn how to Mongolian throat sing? Check this out.
No, you try. No, keep that shit to yourself. Don't hear it.
Anyway, thanks for watching that clip. Patreon.com/calltheline is where you could support us. And maybe you should subscribe and like the video, because it was a killer video. Or maybe it wasn't. Was it a Forrest video? If this was a Forrest video, you don't have to click like. If it was an Eric video, go ahead and click dislike.